Hello everyone, my name is El Parnaso, and for today's video I'm gonna show you a combo that beats the Fallen and the Virtuous. So don't forget to leave a like, to subscribe, and to share the channel with your people so we can grow. Because we all been there, right? Like, you make your High Caesar and your opponent activates or search the Fallen and the Virtuous and your card is over, right? One card exchanges with a card that should be two high quality interactions against the branded deck. So I understand that if you draw the Engraver and the Yami, you can leave both Caesar and the Desire, but you are not always going to be in that scenario. Or maybe you are being very careful against a Super Poly because Desire is a light that is not a beast. Therefore, your opponent can Super Poly both Desire and your Yami monster, and there's nothing you can do about it. So let me show you what you can do when you are not in fantasy land and you, for example, draw a Yami and a way to go to the Fiendsmith. In this case, for example, the Fiendsmith track. Let's say this could be like normal Luri or Lacrima too. So here you go with you start with your Yami, with your Fiendsmith shit. Like you revive the Luri. Like this is going to be kind of standard, but I think it's still very important to understand the thought process here, because now we are going to push with the Fiendsmith cards. We are going to do just the usual. We go with Lacrima, we send the Engraver, then we revive the Engraver. We don't know what might happen from now on, so I think guaranteeing the Requiem back in the extra deck is kind of more useful than returning the Luri. And here, I know that some people can use the Fiendsmith track. However, because we started with Fiendsmith track, even if we try to make the fusion here by banishing the track, we are not going to have an Engraver in the graveyard. So at that point, it will be more useful to save the Fiendsmith track for the future in other turns and to guarantee the extra monster with the sequence, because we are not getting to Desire anyways. So here we go with the sequence, we use the effect, we return the other two that's pending, we make the fusion, and this time we revive the Engraver. Now, this is very important. It's very important to do this. You make the Caesar right here. Okay? I swear to God, this will be relevant. So then we just normal summon our Yami. Now that there are no Nibiru nor Hydraulis Harmonia, we can just go with the Mignon. The Mignon will revive our Yami monster. Now with these two, we will go for Steel or Yami shit, right? Now we add this card right here, like we dump the cookie, because against branded is awesome, against the Falling of Albas effect. And we add the Capsi Yami. Now this will go again, just the usual right here, but at the end everything will come together, like you will see. I go with the Yami Surprise, we go with the Marshmallow, we recover it. Here we just go for the Linkuribo. We use these two, we make the Lollipop Yami way, and now this is when everything is going to be kind of nice, because remember, we draw already our Fiendsmith cards, or any Fiendsmith card. It could be Track, it could be Luri, it could be Lacrima. And now, thanks to that, we have available a card in the extra deck that yes, most of the time we thought about it as a bridge between the Yami to the Fiendsmith, but here will be very meta relevant to deal with cards like Fallen and the Virtuous. Why? Because here we can use these two to make Reprodocus above the High Caesar. Why is this important? Because Reprodocus can't only change the type of the monster it points to, it can also change the attribute. So here we are going to make Reprodocus to change High Caesar from water to light, because it's already a Fiend monster, right? And now we can use Sequence Graveyard Effect that says you can target one light non-link Fiend monster. This card don't say a monster that originally is a light, so this is still available, a legal target with the High Caesar, even though by the next turn won't be a light anymore, because it's only asking for that moment specifically to be a light, which it is, thanks to Reproducus. So here we make the sequence effect and we equip it to the high Caesar. Why is this relevant? Because now the effect of the sequence is going to be permanent and as long as it is equipped to the Caesar. Therefore, your opponent cannot target the equipped monster with card effects, which means that Fallen the Virtuous can't even attempt to target the high Caesar anymore, because it's untargetable. Your opponent can also impermanent if it hits his card or if they try to save it, so that's also another plus of punishing your opponent if they hold cards like imperm, or if they draw them. Plus, you are dealing with Fallen the Virtuous, because now the card that they assume can deal easily and exchange easily with the high Caesar, one of your best interruptions against branded, is not usable anymore for that purpose. What are they going to do? Use Fallen the Virtuous in your synchro monster? Like, come on, right? So, and even if they save it to try to push for special summons, the Caesar can negate that too. So here, thanks that we make the sequence, we have an extra monster on the field, because now with these two, we can go with the SP Little Knight, and in, like we said, the surprise, and in the end phase, we can tribute the extra monster that we had, thanks that we saved the FMC track and we have the sequence on the field to have, ever since the beginning of our turn, also Link Kuribo available to protect our Caesar, or SP Little Knight, and the Yami Wave. And in this case, unlike the Desire, even if they have Super Poly, they can only take the Little Knight and the Link Kuribo, which, you know, who cares at that point? You're using two cards to deal with SP Little Knight and a Link Kuribo that will come back. The Caesar is still there, so who gives a shit? And we have our both ways to still maintain our Yami's interactions with the Synchro on the field, the Synchro in the graveyard, the Yami names, and a surprise set, which is still a lot better than when you get Super Poly for the Yami Synchro and the Desire. So you can see how you can exploit one of the cards that I really thought it was going to get banned 100%, because Reproducus is not only a bridge between the Yami and to the Fiendsmith, but a way to protect your high value Fiendsmith interaction whenever you don't need it to use it as a bridge. And also is a beautiful way to reward you whenever you draw a Yami name and a Fiendsmith card, in order to make your end board actually more viable and more resourceful. Even if you draw not the Engraver, but Track or Lurie or the Lacrima, because this can be achieved with any of these three and a Yami name. As you can see, you don't need to have access to that specifically second Engraver to have a layer of protection for the Kind Caesar, because to leave Desire, you need to open actually just the Engraver and the Yami name. So here you have an actual two-card combo that is more realistic whenever you play the game, and that is going to happen a lot more than specifically the Engraver and the Yami name. That is still very high value when it comes to the cards that you care about. For example, mostly the Fallen and the Virtuous. So if you enjoyed the video, again, leave a like, subscribe, and share it with your people. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.